Well, I'm out in the field today and I have with me one of my handy dandy tools, and this tool has a very specific purpose, and you probably wouldn't have been able to guess what it is, except for you obviously clicked on the title, so you might have an idea. But I made this with a specific purpose in mind. This fall we had an extremely wet year, and there was just some places the harvesting equipment couldn't get to, and so we had patches of corn standing into really wet spots. And it turned out it wasn't enough to come back in later when it was frozen to get it and get all the equipment out. So I've just been hand picking it as I get time. Ended up with a whole bunch of whole corn that needed to be shelled. That left me with some very sore fingers. So that's when I came up with this little device. So now with this drill with a lag bolt, I can quickly and easily shell corn. I'm going to take you into the shop now. I'll show you how this works, and then I'll show you how I build it. So I'm back at the shop here now, and I have my sheller, I have some corn, and I have my lag bolt in my drill, and I'll show you how this all works. These fingers on this sheller look very elaborate, like they have this very important job. And I guess it is kind of important, but all that is to hold it and keep it centered in a 5-gallon bucket. So I come back with all my corn. I simply take my drill with my lag bolt, insert it into the end there, and then with this centered in my 5-gallon bucket, you simply, it's that simple. So speed can be an issue because you get a little bit of corn flying out of your bucket. To solve the issue of corn flying everywhere, and if you just slow down, it isn't too bad. But I found if you take the bottom of a box, cardboard box, cut it, put one hole right in the center, I found I can lay that over my 5-gallon bucket, and it keeps all the corn inside. With my cover now on the bucket, I can go a whole lot faster. So I can take my corn and insert my lag bolt, and it is instantly shelled. It literally takes about 1 second per cob. It really is just that simple. It only takes about 1 second per cob, and you can go through a lot of corn in no time at all. So I'm going to show you now how I put it together with just some scraps laying around here at my shop. Well, I'm in at my welding table here in the shop, and like I said, I just pieced this together with just some scraps that I already had laying around. And the center starts off with just a piece of metal pipe. And the inside diameter here is where it's important, because a shelled cob is what has to fit in there. In my design, I didn't use any type of teeth or spikes or anything. I simply used this metal pipe that's 1 1/4 inches inside diameter. So that's pretty important to have that right diameter, that it's small enough that the cob will fit down through, but yet it'll shell all the corn off. Next, for the legs that hold it in a bucket, I simply have these. These are old rake teeth. We have a wheel rake that when the teeth break, we have to replace them. This are the broken parts, and they just happen to have a hook on the end that hooks into the bucket. We cut these to length and weld them to the pipe here, and that's simply all it takes for this design. Finally, I wanted to show you my lag bolt attachment. This is what goes in your drill, and that is a very simple also. I just took a lag bolt that I had around. There's several different sizes. This one's 5/16, I believe. You might be able to make 3/8 work, maybe 1/4. You don't want it too big that it splits the cob when you turn it in. But then I just simply took a saw, cut off the head, and then I welded on a flat washer here. And then you can simply stick that into the truck of your drill, and that's as simple as that. And when you're done, you'll end up with something that looks like this. Not real pretty, just some scrap pieces thrown together, but it serves a very important purpose when it comes to shelling corn. I appreciate you watching. Please consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video.